We call it, in my house, since my daughter's name is Riley, we call it rye-splaining.
Yeah, I do the same thing. All
Ryan
ryes do it.
Yeah.
It's a rye thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Names.
So, speaking of
Um,
names, we're talking about Seymour, which is weird, I imagine, for you, Jeremy, because
Yeah.
you've been so protective of not saying it out loud. Anybody.
to select groups of small groups of people
Yeah.
within the agency, and some right outside the doors.
Close friends of the firm.
Close friends of the firm.
Yeah.
I think that Seymour is our content brand.
Oh,
content and
yeah.
design studio of sorts. I love that we can talk about it more freely now.
Yeah.
What do you want to say about it now that we're able to say it to the world? We can go to the top of the Ledyard building here in Grand Rapids and shout it to Rosa Parks Circle. What do you want to say about it?
What do I say to Rosa Parks Circle? I don't know. It's it's quite the prompt.
I don't know.
I know, yeah.
No. I mean, it's a very exciting time for Truscott Rossman and for Seymour to enter this world. And
Whew, good talking points. Come
Yeah.
on, Jeremy,
I
what does this
wondered-
mean to you? Like, tell me. Like, be honest.
I was going to say that didn't seem like what you've taught me
Yeah,
to
this
do
is
on a
Jeremy's
podcast.
PR side coming
oh,
out.
sorry, it's only the degree that I obtained.
I think that I think that you're being unfair to Jeremy. Ryan,
Thank you, Allie.
no problem. Anything for you, Jeremy.
Yes.
Jeremy can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Go back to the very beginning.
2 years ago. Then what?
2 years ago, Ryan and I were talking about content as a service a lot. We were doing it every single day for clients, and we really wanted to spin it off into something that was its own entity, something that that this was what it did, and it did it really well, and it's an idea that we could replicate for a lot of different clients.
Yeah. Jeremy and I were spending most of our work days on content work. And I think we both had similar revelations around, like, there's a business model in here somewhere,
Yeah.
of providing content reliably, consistently, scalable, all of the words that you can find on SeymourStudio.com. But really, like, it felt like we were on the edge of coming up with, like, a new idea of, like, what an agency is all about. And as Allie, I got here and often found myself asking and saying out loud, like what do people hire an agency for? And in many ways, Seymour, as a content studio, came out of the need of now, looking at, like, the way that communications has changed over the last decade plus. When many firms like Truscott Rossman were founded, it was for an era that has in many ways shifted. And while many agencies will say, well, we're digital first, and try to allude to, like, that kind of idea, I think it is impossible, as you've put, Allie, it's impossible to really embrace that without setting it aside and letting it grow on its own as its own thing.
Yeah. When I look back 2 years ago, it was TR was chasing what all other kind of, like, peer agencies were doing, of, like, the idea of, like, the integrated model, right? And I had to hire for, the vice president partner position, and through kind of looking at what had worked and what didn't work and what others were doing, we knew that we needed someone who thought differently to lead that. And I think, talking about, like, if this were a movie and you have, like, the two sets, like, up, like, you guys talking about something different and me being like, I don't want someone who's like me. I think it worked out. You
got people who are not like you.
I did full
But
of
do
them.
like
I was going to say.
We do
We
like
do
you.
like you.
You know that words of affirmation is my love language, so thank you.
You're right.
Yeah, but I think, like, we, on your first day at TR, it was the day that TR acquired a creative design firm. And I look back at that, it was very serendipitous, because without you, we could have easily done what so many other firms have done, which is like put them under PR. Say like everything has to go through the PR lens. It has to be funneled through PR, which as we've gone on this journey is, it has to be time bound. It's focused on talking points. There's a level of control where I've realized that doesn't work is that it should be the opposite, and that ideas that are majority creative need to start from that creative content place, which is why we thought it was important to separate the brands.
That's great. I mean, we're recording for several minutes at this point.
Yeah.
And people watch our videos, so I think that...
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen the analytics.
Riley and Alden watch our videos.
It's mostly Riley.
They don't
and
have
Alden.
their own LinkedIn platform.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So yeah, I guess now that this is launched, like it's exciting. It only gets easier from here, right? No.
I'd love to take a step back because we talked about when Ryan joined. I want my time. It's my turn.
Yeah.
When I joined, and you approached me about this role, I remember thinking like Truscott Rossman does public relations and I do public affairs. That was my perception of it. And what I wanted to do was different. And what we talked about over that lunch was that this is the opportunity to do that, is to make something different, something new, something not called Truscott Rossman. And that was pretty exciting to me. The idea of all of this work, all the conversations that we have been had over the years being almost like the preamble to what we're doing here today.
Did you believe me in that first meeting that like we'd be doing what we're doing to say more?
Truthfully, I did not believe you in that first meeting.
Really?
I enjoyed our conversation when Witt spoke, when we interviewed, when I interviewed with Allie and Ryan. But
I'm the ringer.
Well, here's the thing. The moment that I did believe is when I sat down with JT and heard it straight from him, just like how excited he was for this and how like he was all about it. He was bought in. I sat down in my interview with JT expecting to have to explain every nuance of like this idea to him, but he was already there. He was already all about it. And so I remember him telling me how excited he was for it, and that helped me kind of say like, oh, they're serious about this. Like I don't know. I didn't know how much was going to be prescribed to me or how much was going to be up to me and the team. And really pleased with how the process went.
Well, lucky for you, I had gone through my don't micromanage journey before you joined.
Oh,
can you imagine if Allie of like 2022 was like trying to micromanage this project?
Because you really did stay out of all this for the most part.
Well, it's because I'm a good leader.
Yeah. There was...
Is that why?
That's what that is. Cool. I like it. You should be a good leader more often.
Check out my results. Oh, stop. Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite the journey to get here. And then like the first day or first week, we sat down and you're like, all right, so we got to make this thing now.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Your friend's like, I got to rock around getting this done and I'm passing it right over to you.
Yeah,
Please.
And like very quickly, it's like it was an open road. And I was like, oh, okay. Didn't really have a name.
You did have a name, let's be honest.
It's in the back pocket for something later. Knew kind of what we wanted to do, but I didn't really know the team. I was like still kind of building it. It didn't have like a brand identity, and I love the brand identity that we do have for Say More. I just it's been a long journey, and I reflect on it often, especially as we have approached today. The day that this is posted, whatever day that is.
Friday.
Yeah.
Friday.
May
23rd?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I just want to close by saying that just because Jeremy is sitting here does not mean that he was the only person who like spent significant time creating this opportunity. Just off camera is the rest of our entire team
standing
there contributing.
Waiting.
Yeah, awkwardly staring right into our souls. But all of them contributed to this. Like I said, just because Jeremy's sitting here doesn't mean that he's the only one. It truly took an effort from our interns to our CEO.
an effort and like a commitment to the open mind's value. Because doing something and kind of opening your mind to something that is different, that is uncomfortable, that, you know, you're unsure about is really hard.
Yeah.
I do want to say something because you mentioned the CEO, and that I do think that it is worthwhile to mention, like, John is doing that exact thing. He's leading by example. Like, this is not the type of communications he was raised in. He loves it and acknowledges that, you know, it's not his to do, right? It's not, but is driven by it and excited. And I think that that is unique. And I'm always proud to work for someone like that.
Yeah. All right. We're going to give Jeremy the last word to say more.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is an exciting time. Do you want me to like actually say just like a word? Do you want me to just say more or like say more? Like talk?
It's up to you.
Okay.
You're the boss now. You can't do any wrong.
Didn't love that one either.
Ryan says content is about not being precious with what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're getting a lot of
This feels very precious.
precious. What's preciousness?
Depreciousness.
Yeah. Well,
All right. What's Jeremy? I'd love to give you the last word here.
Oh my God.
Anything else you'd like to say more about Say More?
Yeah, I would love everyone to go to saymorestudio.com and join us on this journey. How's that?
It was great.
Cool.